As you can tell from my channel, I love video games. I have my entire life. It's always been my passion and hobby. However, I grew up on the less wealthy side of things, so getting games or consoles was something I experienced very rarely. Me and my brothers would typically get a game system when it was a generation or two behind. My most envious memory was not having a Game Boy when most of the other kids had one in my class. I was a hardcore Pokemon fan, and all I wanted was red, blue, or yellow version. It would be a couple of years later until the Game Boy Color was more affordable, and I finally got my hands on Pokemon Gold version. This is by far my favorite gaming memory. I put countless hours into that game from start to finish, trying all the variations of Pokemon teams I could. As I got older, games and consoles became more expensive. I remember we were struggling, so I couldn't even get a memory card for my PlayStation 1. The two games I was able to get on sale were Final Fantasy VII and Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. I would always try to get as far as I could each time I played, because I couldn't save the progress. There would be days where I would get farther than I did the last time I played, and I would just keep my PlayStation on all day until I got home from school. Very typically though, my PlayStation was fighting for its life, and if it hadn't shut off, I would turn on the TV to just a still picture, frozen to where I was, and taunting me, knowing without that card I would never beat it. It wasn't until I was in my teenage years working at McDonald's until I could save my own money, until I could finally get some games on a semi-regular basis. And you know where I went. Good old GameStop at the bargain bin. I would build up a decent collection, beat some games. However, I was on a budget, and if I wanted something that was newer or close to has just come out, I would unfortunately have to barter and lose just to get enough credit to get a new game. I remember I once traded in 11 games just to get $30 in store credit, give or take, to be able to afford Gears of War 2 at $60 when it released in 2008. Going into my adult years, the budget got even thinner. As you can imagine, bills and other responsibilities make playing games and being able to have the time to play them take a back seat. So I just played a handful of titles that I could get through the years. Then one day I saw it, the first Gamepass commercial. The year was 2017, and I couldn't believe what they were saying in that fantastic green neon drive-thru. For $10 a month, you could play over 100 games. This was huge for me. I hadn't played Halo since Halo Reach in college, and I desperately wanted to play Halo 5. Please hold back your judgment. I know the sentiment towards that game, but I still love it. Any game is better with Nathan Fillion in it. Am I right?
They're gonna hate us. You know that, right?
Anyways, I digress. I signed up for the 14-day free trial, and there was no going back. Finally, I could play more than 2 games at once, and not have to sell my games to just afford a new one. 1 step forward, 3 steps back, you know. Don't get me wrong, I still buy games. However, now I can be more calculating with what I buy that I know would most likely not be on the service. This truly was an equalizer. Finally, I could experience what it was like not to have a struggle to enjoy my hobby. If you play games regularly, you can't argue that Game Pass isn't one of the best, if not the best value in gaming, now that games are tracking to be $70, if not $80 at release. It makes even more sense to have it, especially with the economy and cost of living what it is. The other good value is you don't have to have an Xbox to use it. You can access it on PC or your phone. It's even on TVs now. All you really need is an Xbox controller and a decent internet connection minimally, and you're set. That's why it's been such a game changer for me. I still buy games on sale or ones I really want from time to time. However, there's nothing like the value it brings, plus just checking it from time to time to see what's been recently added. If anyone out there has experienced or is experiencing anything like what I spoke about, I can't recommend it enough.